Nicole and Briana are lined up on the grid. It's lights out, and away we go on this week's grid walk.
We played a game in the preseason called Red Flags, where, Nicole, I asked you a series of questions, and I put you in the shoes of Charles Leclerc, and you had to determine if that event, this theoretical event, would push you, Charles Leclerc, over the edge and leave Ferrari. And you had to determine what would it take. And I think the 2023 season was far worse than the things I outlined for the 2023 season. And we're, 7 races in?
Which is, crazy. Yeah. I don't feel great. I kind of wrote off after quali, after Saturday, I was like, you know what? It's just not the time. It's just not the time for Ferrari. It's just P19. And then I understand, okay, now we're going to just make other upgrades or make some changes, start from the pit lane. It's bad luck city. Monaco wasn't great. One race after another, there's always something else, either with him, with Ferrari. And then Puma did a better collaboration with Carlos than with Charles. So it stinks to be Charles right now.
That was in my Charles's fault. Charles designed his race suit and his collaboration thing. He was very proud of the white and the diamonds, and that was Charles's fault. We know that Carlos doesn't design anything, and that he just told the designers, just do something cool.
Yep. I'm not saying all of his sadness is externally caused.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
It's a sad time for Charles. I don't fully remember all of the previous red flags that we went in during the preseason. I just remember feeling really sad for all of them. But that's how I feel every weekend for him.
Yeah. And for some context, because I'm not going... So we're going to play this game again, essentially. And there might be some surprises in here. But... and how it works is all of these things I'm about to say stack on top of each other. So if something happens, it happens. Nicole is either going to push this lap, so she's going to keep going, just keep pushing on as a Ferrari driver. Or she's going to decide it's time to box, throw up that red flag, the race is over, Charles is out at Ferrari, I've been through too much.
All right, box.
Oh, I get nervous every time we try to control Charles's fate.
Well, so here are the things that in my previous version of this game that I said would have already happened in the 2023 season, and I think what's actually happened are worse. So I said that the Ferrari would top the timesheets at preseason testing, but by week 2, it was clear that Red Bull was still the fastest team. Yes, Red Bull's still the fastest team, but I don't think Ferrari topped a single timesheet. There was no delusions that the Ferrari was going to be good.
No.
Then I also said that Max would continue to talk to you in every cooldown room about how much backing he's getting from Red Bull as the number 1 driver. Charles isn't spending a lot of time in cooldown rooms for this to happen.
You gotta be in the cooldown room to hear Max complain about things in the cooldown room.
And then I had a line about Ferrari's power unit, which has shockingly not been a headline of this season so far, but there's still ways to go. We'll see. So we're going to jump right into this. We're going to go with the rest of the season here. And we're going to start with, we're nearing the end of the season. Let's say it's around Coda time. Red Bull has wrapped up the championship. And you have yet to podium again this season.
At all?
Yeah, Charles hasn't been on the podium since Australia, I think, was his podium. It's October.
I do think this would cause, a lot of emotional distress.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not boxing just yet. But honestly, I do feel like if this was reality, I'd, hesitate. But no, I'm not. There's still that, Ferrari pride that's like on fire in him that he wants to like do the thing.
Push the slap.
Push.
Still wearing the bracelet. Yeah. I think, to be fair, I think both him and Carlos have recalibrated on the season. So speaking about recalibration, my last thing for this season is, do you remember that in the preseason, they were very clear that their goal for this year was to compete for the championships again? How have we all forgotten that? Just 7 races in. So it's Brazil, it's Abu Dhabi, it's the end of the season, and you're having to do so much press about how the plan was actually year 2 with Fred Vasseur all along. That was actually the target for competing in the championship. This year was always meant to go this way. Those are the talking points he's given.
This is gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
Especially coming from him, because he's like, I have a long history with him, and this is, building a new foundation. Oh my gosh. It's gonna, Nicole Katz would want to box, but Charles
Push the slap.
Push the slap. But that is so gonna happen.
So essentially, you don't have Charles Leclerc leaving the Ferrari team going into the 2024 season. He's going to be a Ferrari driver next year.
Yes. Well, going into, unless you're going to pull some preseason stuff. So like now is okay. Yes. So then going into the next 2024 season, he's still with Ferrari.
So he's still with Ferrari, driving out that contract. It's the beginning of the season, and Ferrari's flirting with a different driver on the grid just a bit too publicly when you're supposed to be Mr. Ferrari.
Is there like the driver changes my opinion, or is it just like general? It's just another driver.
What driver would change your opinion?
I don't know. There's also just everyone who's still going on about the discourse of like, oh, if Lewis went to Ferrari, and I like don't have. I clearly right now do not have time for that discourse. So like, I more just want to make sure that that's not the like hysterics that we're currently.
No, let's make the driver Lando Norris. Ooh. Ferrari's publicly flirting, trying to see if they can get Lando Norris in the seat.
This is like a borderline. It's very disrespectful. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna push.
Push the slap.
Okay. Obviously we don't know the schedule for next season, but let's pretend for the sake of the 2024 season that Silverstone is the race before summer break, before the driver market really kicks off. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's Silverstone. Ferrari's having a better year. They're a little more competitive. Definitely could still be in the conversation for the constructors in this big theoretical land. And for the first time in a long time, Charles is in position to potentially win a race. But Ferrari doesn't call team orders. That would help that.
Oh! And he still hasn't won a race. Like,
no.
Right?
Because there's no way. Like, something weird would have to happen this year.
There's something super weird would have had to happen. Didn't call team orders.
Right. I will point out that in this theoretical land, that it was just a chance to win the race. It wasn't a guarantee. But let's just pretend Max crashed or something.
Or Max crashed, or like it's a conversation of P2, which is a different type of winning.
Right.
Ooh, I'm stuck here. I'm really considering to box because this is just. Can I ask how many things are left? I know everything is stacking on top of each other. I'm just trying to determine the chaos. I know you'll share, I hope.
I will share with you and the audience the ones I didn't read, of course. Yeah. There's going to be one more in 2024, and then in 2025, I have 3.
Okay. I'm getting really close, but let's see what happens after silly season.
Okay. A seat opens up at Red Bull dramatically. Christian Horner calls you, sees if you want to be teammates with Max.
I have to leave.
I just want to be very clear. I don't think there's ever a chance that Christian Horner will put Charles Leclerc in a seat next to Max.
I immediately had
the game is more fun this way.
a zillion follow-up questions, which now there's also, did you see
just gotta
how quotes from this weekend about how they had to like pay Christian Horner like millions of more dollars this year to stop him from going to Ferrari after Mattia left?
Oh, I mean, good. Like,
right.
As much as I hate Christian Horner, he's annoyingly good at his job.
Yeah. I was like, I'm like, I can't believe that you even had to be upset about that. Anyway.
I also don't think Christian Horner would have ever left. I think he just went, ooh, fun leverage.
Yeah, of course. Oh my gosh.
So what are you doing?
Okay. So my brain is debating.
You have to be teammates with Max.
I know. That's my big hang up here is there's a lot of drivers that I think would be okay with being second to Max. And I really don't think Charles would.
Mm-hmm.
And unless like the dramatic fashion is that like Max left, I do not think this would make him
push the slap.
Yeah. I think Charles and Lando are both in this really weird position right now, just where would they go? Like, I think whenever Charles leaves Ferrari, I do think they're going to give Lando that seat because that's Ferrari's MO. But like, that's my like long-term prediction that Lando will be a Ferrari driver at some point.
I have him so aligned with the McLaren brand. It's like so hard to imagine him in like the red. It's like such a strong association of him and orange. So it's like really confusing my brain.
No, I mean, but like this is what happens. Like Fernando, like you get the big Ferrari check, you go. But and so everyone keeps attaching these drivers to like when Lewis retires, that second Mercedes seat. But like, do they really want to be on a team? I don't know. I'm tangenting. Like, it's like George Russell's being set up as the number one driver there. So it's weird. It's definitely weird. All right, you're moving into the 2025 season. This would theoretically be the last year on his contract, I believe.
Yeah.
On his current contract if he doesn't leave early. After a stunning 2023 and 2024 season, with still no plan to retire, Ferrari is publicly discussing re-signing Fernando Alonso. You don't know if it's going to happen. But, they're starting the season with some early silly season gossip of, like Honda is becoming the Aston Martin partner. Honda doesn't really want Fernando in that seat. Fernando needs a ride. He's had great seasons. Yeah, come back to Ferrari. That's the chatter.
So now my brain's trying to determine, like, if Charles would be like, oh no, I got a dip, or like he would be like, oh no, that's for Carlos. Like, that's like, I'm fine. It's going to be me and Fernando and then him. Like, I'm trying to, the man I don't know, be in his brain. And
this is a fun game. I really like being on this side of this game.
I'm so stressed.
Yeah. I mean, but it's the same question. Like, do you really want to be teammates with Fernando?
I mean, no. I don't want to sit next to him on a plane. But oh God, and there's also just the part of my brain that believes that like Charles is just gonna end up being like, thanks, bye, from Ferrari, like, and right. I'm gonna push because I think, and I would be screaming leave, but I don't think he
push the slap.
I have two more here, but I do want to point out that in the preseason, I wrote about Fernando having a stunning 2023 and 2024 season. So apparently some part of me like really predicted what was going on this year, and I will take credit for that.
Your fault.
Right, apparently. All right, second to last one in the 2025 season. At this point, he's in his lame duck season, determining whether or not to re-sign. He gets pull at Monaco, which, even though the car has a deficit, you can still do. But Ferrari forgot the fourth tire and messed up the pit stop.
All right, box.
No, I'm done. I cannot. I would hope that he would just walk home. I hope he'd pull a Senna. I'd hope he'd pull a Kimi. I hope he'd end up on a yacht or just go home and call later. Oh my goodness. No, I can't. That's my breaking point. And it might really not be Charles, but I want it to be. So I'm calling it. I can't do that. Done. Walk
The
away.
interesting thing is that's when you boxed the first time we did this. So even though the start of the 2023 season has been harder than we even predicted for Charles, you still, you fundamentally believe that he's going to hold on. And I agree with you. I think that Charles is going to hold on until the last possible drop of hope escapes his body.
Right. The game is not when I think he should. It is when I think he will. And part of me thinks that he would still hold on in this, but I need to put an end to it. Because that is such Ferrari screw up that I would need to like turn off and like take a walk. I would not be able to handle that. But alright, so what could have been the actual final straw of 2025?
Fred is fired right before the start of the new regulation set, and a new team principal is brought in to solve all the problems. Again.
Oh, I definitely would have boxed if I didn't box emotionally at Monaco. That one is like, if you, that has too much written on it of like, oh, Fred's gone. Like, oh, who's next? Yeah.
Yeah, who's the next scapegoat?
Not resign. It's a bye-bye.
I think whenever he does leave Ferrari, whether it's too late or whether it's soon or too late or like whatever the circumstance is, the quotes we're going to get from him, he's like, wow, things are so much easier on other teams. Gonna be wild.
Not screwing up a pit stop, a tire strategy that makes like somewhat sense.
The lack of internal politics, and not that they don't exist in other teams, but Ferrari seems to be at a whole crazy level.
Screaming to the void. I just imagine all of their meetings is everyone standing around and just yelling. And I've explained this bit before, and it's all Italian accents. And I literally, that is what I imagine. Every debrief, every meeting is everyone yelling and loud, and Charles and Carlos just sitting there like.
I just imagine the exact opposite, actually. I imagine everyone being too afraid to say that there's a problem. And then it's just Charles and Carlos in the room like, guys, what is going on? And they're like, what are you talking about? That went great. And they're just like looking at each other like, I guess everything's okay. Like just being gaslit into everything being fine.
And it's just incredible because it's Ferrari. And like everything about that, it should be like everything should be tied up and so put together. And it's so just not what my brain thinks of. And I love and hate them for it all at the same time.
Well, let us know what prompt should be our next red flag. So I think we've done this before for should Lando leave McLaren. We probably need to bring that one back as well. But if there's another big question looming over an F1 personality, let us know and we'll play red flag and see what Nicole would do.
Will Alex Albon dye his hair another color? Who knows? Big question.
Yes, tomorrow, please.
Thank you so much for listening to this segment from episode 20 of Gridwalk. 2-0, that's so cool. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more F1 content, more F1 videos. We make stuff all the time. You've made it this far in this video, so watch the rest of the podcast. It's right here. You could click, ready, go with it. Click right here. Click.